Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jimmy, and this is Jaywalking Philly, the channel where I show you what makes this a great city. And today, we're heading on down to South Philly to take a walk through one of my favorite sections here in the city of Philadelphia, the Italian market. Get into a normal routine, which is right outside of like MetLife and all that stuff out there. Perfect. The best. All right, while this B-roll of me traveling down to South Philly is rolling, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Christine, who's watching these videos and coming on walks with me all the way from Germany. Christine, thank you so much for tuning in and for all the support you've shown me so far. I hope you're enjoying these, and I hope this is giving you a little taste of Philly that you need, and I hope you're having the best holiday season. Thank you so much, Christine. All right, so we just got off the train down here in South Philly, and before we start our tour, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of history on the actual Italian market itself. So way back in the mid 1880s, there was this guy, Antonio Palumbo, and he opened a boarding house for other Italian immigrants here on here on Ninth Street in South Philadelphia. As a result of that, the people in that boarding house and Italian community started popping up with food carts and food stalls along Ninth Street, right where that boarding house was. It grew and grew and grew, and it is now still operating and is the oldest everyday open air market in the United States. And it's different in that way because a lot of the old markets that still exist in other cities happen like once or twice a week, like farmers markets and stuff like that. But this is every single day. And a lot of these businesses have been here for over 100 years. The reason I love it so much is because it's almost like time traveling back to how Philadelphia used to be over 100 years ago. This was before supermarkets as we know them existed. Back in these times, what you would do is you would go to a butcher, a bakery, a greengrocer to get all your things, and then you would go to a store for your non-perishables, and you'd give a list to somebody at the store, and they would collect all your things for you. It wasn't until like I believe the 1920s or the 1930s that grocery stores, as we know them, started popping up with like Piggly Wiggly and stuff like that, and I think Memphis, Tennessee, where you would go in, gather up all the stuff that you wanted, and then go and pay for it. So it was much different back then, and that's why I think I like coming here so much, because it is kind of that like snapshot back to how things used to be down here in South Philadelphia and still operate that way over 100 years later. So I am getting down here at like 1:30. I should have gotten down here a lot earlier. So I think a lot of like the produce and stuff might be already cleaned up for the day. But I will show you guys a lot of the really awesome local businesses to check out that have been here, like I said, for a very long time. We're going to go up one way and then come back the other way so we can see everything. We're going to finish the video a couple blocks up at the very end of what the Italian market defines itself as now. And I'm going to show you one of the best food blocks in all of Philadelphia. Like, I think it is actually the best food block in all of Philadelphia. And if I have time, once we get to the Italian market, if I have time and if the line's not too long, maybe I'll finally stop and grab one of the new Michelin Bib Gourmand award-winning cheesesteaks from Angelo's. Maybe. We'll see. We're going to have to see. All right, this place, it's got seafood. Tons and tons of fresh produce. I'm assuming that this Carl Riddell, I'm assuming was the original owner of Carl's Vineyard Farm Eggs over here, which has a free food sign. Usually I'd be weary of that, but I feel like this is the one place you could go where They're not lying to you and trying to lure you and kidnap you. Got fresh fish here, salmon steaks, salmon fillets, scallops, shrimp of various sizes, medium, large, extra large, some clams back there as well. A ton more produce. So much produce here. Anything you need, you can get down here fresh and like relatively cheap too. Which is the best part. I haven't seen it yet, but the Italian market is what is like I think the only place in Philly where you can like legally burn trash in barrels, and so you will see like fire barrels down here. And get past these people. So as I was saying, sometimes you'll see like fire barrels down here on the Italian market, and I think it's because there's so much cardboard that these vendors use from their produce that they allow them to burn it, especially during the winter. Also, probably to stay warm, I would imagine too, during the winter. This place is great. I might come back here in a few minutes and uh, and get some tortillas. They've got some really good tortillas and some chips. I wonder what time they're open till. See if maybe yeah, I'll come back and classic sandwich shop here. If you're looking for good Italian hoagies, this is one of the places to get them. If you look in there closely, you can see this place puts sawdust on the ground in there. It's an old time thing. One of my favorite things. Doors with graffiti all over it. Here's the okay, yeah, here's the definition of what they now consider the Italian market. So from Wharton up to Fitzwater and from 10th to 8th Street. Perfect. Every year they have this festival in the summer where people try to climb up this greased pole and grab a bunch of meat. Yeah, this is the visitor center. You can come in here and get like gifts, and I'm sure they tell you where Rocky ran down this street and all that kind of shit. Here's Gleaner's Cafe. I've heard this place is good. I've never been here. I gotta come here soon though. I've heard this place is really really good. And then down here you've got Anthony's Italian Coffee House. This place is awesome. You can come in. I think we're gonna come here in a little bit. We're gonna go up. We're gonna show the. We're gonna backtrack, show the other side of the street, and then finish up there. Then we're gonna order some food over there, and then come back and come to Anthony's while we're waiting for the food to finish up. But Anthony's is awesome. You can get pastries. Sorry, Anthony's is awesome. You can get like pastries, coffee, gelato, all sorts of awesome shit here. This place is awesome. Here's a bar I used to like to go to before I stopped drinking, and I like the name of it because it's called 12 Steps Down, which if you know anything about AA, there's 12 steps to it. So I think it's a double meaning because I think there actually is 12 steps to get down to this bar. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There, yeah, there is actually 12 steps, and then of course the double meaning with there's 12 steps to get through AA. I always thought that was ironic. I don't know if that was a play on words that they meant, um, but I always thought that was interesting. Here's the South 9th Street Curb Market, and I think this is where like the Italian market kind of started. This is where the first couple food carts and food stalls that started all of this originated was right around here on this corner. I don't know anything about this place other than one time I was taking some photos down here and I took a really cool photo of this building, and one of the ladies that works here was like peeping through the window and I didn't realize it until people had pointed it out. It's one of my favorite photos I've taken of all time. I'll put it here so you guys can check it out. Now we're gonna turn around. I'm gonna walk down there, and then we'll walk back this way on the other side of the street so you guys can see what's going on that side, and some of the places that you can go that I go on a more frequent basis to get things like cheeses, cured meats, pastas, things like that. I think we're actually going to pick up some of that stuff today too. So, all right, hang tight while I walk down to the other end. All right, so now we're back at the top of what I would call the Italian side of the Italian market, Ninth and Washington. Going to walk down the other side. This side has a lot of the places that I go more often. A lot of the like cheese shops, meat shops, pasta shops. I don't really come down here to get like produce all that much, or to go to like any of the butchers. Although I probably should, to be honest. I probably should try them, but that's just not typically what I come down here for. Here's some of the like, if you're interested in like living down here, this is kind of what it could look like if you wanted to live down here right off the Italian market here. But no, I typically what I come down here more for is like I go to Sarcone's a lot, best bakery in Philadelphia. Sometimes if want to treat myself, I'll get some cheese from DeBruno's. It's pretty expensive, but it's incredible cheese. And there's some other places I come down here to get some stuff as well. So we'll point those out as we come up them up here in just a couple minutes. Another block down here. This place Fonte's, they're like a kitchen appliance shop. I watched a video on the Italian market a while ago, and two of the people in it were, I think one of them was the wife of the people that were talking about the Italian market and this shop in particular. Seemed like nice people. If you need anything, I'm sure they've got all the stuff you need down here. All right, this place is cool. I like going here. I think it's Toluto's, and they've got like fresh pastas, olives, some meats, stuff like that. I like this place. Take a look at their yeah, place rocks. I'm actually probably gonna come and pick up some pasta from here after I place my food order. Blue Corn, I've heard this place is really good too. Mexican restaurant. This place is really popular, Villa di Roma. I've heard this place has some of the best Italian food that you can get, not only on 9th Street here in the Italian market, but in Philadelphia. Here's De Bruno's. I'm gonna step back, see if I can get a better shot of the front of this here without getting hit by a car. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at this. This is a great shot. What a day here in the Italian market. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So we've got De Bruno's here, the House of Cheese since 1939. I think the story here is one of the brothers went overseas to Italy, I would assume, and experienced a culture of cheese sampling, and he really enjoyed that and thought that that is something that people here should know about. Was all the different types of cheeses that were available, and so he came back here and opened this shop and allowed people to sample all these different types of cheeses. And now it's there's multiple De Brunos in the city, but this was the original one. But if you're looking for like unique and different cheeses and a wide variety of it, like we'll just look one more time. Like there's so much stuff in there. De Bruno's is great. This is Claudio's. Claudio's is like a cheaper alternative to De Bruno's. Not, I shouldn't say that. That it's not quite, but it's a great spot to get like cheeses, pastas, olives, meats, stuff like that at like a much more reasonable price. I love Claudio's as well. Great spot to go. Probably stop in there in a couple of minutes as well once we place our food order. We're almost at the end here of this little section, and then I'm going to show you again. I talked about it, but I'm going to show you what I think is the best food block in the city of Philadelphia. And if it's not too busy, we're going to place an order for one of those places too. This is the De Bruno Brothers. I think it's called the Wine Garden. You can like come here and eat food and stuff, which is probably where I'll come in a few minutes, especially since it's nice and sunny down here. Nanny Franco's. I've had their pizza a few times. It's fine. It's not. You don't go inside. You just order right here. It's fine. It's a cool little alley right past Nanny Franco's. I really like this fountain that has trash in it currently. I don't know anything about this place. Mr. John's Music. I'll have to look into it. I've late nights at Mr. John's. I've never even heard of it. I'll have to look it up. I've never even paid attention to this place before. Huh. If you know anything about it, let me know. Little vintage shop. Lorenzo's Pizza. Not the same Lorenzo's that's on South Street with the giant slices of pizza. Different Lorenzo's. I've never been to this place on the corner, but I've heard it's really good. I think it's called Alice, maybe Elise. I don't know. I've never been there, and so I've I've never actually had to say it out loud before. Here we go. Yeah, I've heard this place rocks too. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Great shot of the market. We're going north towards the end of the market now, or what the visitor center now considers part of the market. And we're approaching this Rite Aid here, which is, I'll show you in a second. But this was the location. Well, let me just get up to the fucking sign first before I start running my mouth. All right, but this Rite Aid here on Ninth and Catherine is the location of the original Palumbo house. That was the boarding house where Antonio Palumbo took in all the Italian immigrants into his boarding house, and those people, with their food carts and food stands, ended up starting the Italian market. And so yeah, this is where that boarding house, which ended up turning into a nightclub, would have been, and now it's a Rite Aid. All right, so here it is. This is what I would consider the best food block in all of Philadelphia, Ninth and Catherine. Ninth and Catherine to Ninth and Fitzwater. Again, I think this is the best food block in all of Philadelphia, and I'll show you why. Oops, somebody lost their flowers. All right, so this is Mon. It's a noodle shop. This is a very, very popular place in Philadelphia, and a lot of people actually thought that they got snubbed during the Michelin Guide ceremony. People thought that they not only it should have been one of the recommendations, but should have gotten a star. And apparently, it's very, very hard to get a reservation here. So Mon is one of the first places that makes this particular block down here in South Philly a sought after destination. A couple blocks down from that, you've got Ralph's Italian Restaurant, which from their sign claims to be the America's oldest Italian restaurant. And it says this little plaque here says it was started in 1900. So Ralph's, another reason that makes this block such a sought after destination here in South Philly. Right next door to that, you've got Sarcone's Bakery, which opened in 1918. This is my favorite bakery in Philadelphia. We're going to be coming here in a few minutes. I can see that they still have stuff, so I'm super excited that they have not sold out for the day. They do close pretty soon. And that is the third place that makes this one of the best food blocks in the city of Philadelphia. But we're not done because there's one other place, probably the most tight place on this block right now. As you can see by all the people walking through the streets with brown bags. You saw a couple back there eating on Sarcone's bench a couple minutes ago. Because at the end of this block is Angelo's Pizzeria, the Bib Gourmand award-winning cheesesteak. And the line doesn't look too crazy right now. It actually looks like they're getting a delivery, and so hopefully we can get in and make an order. Okay, I essentially walked up right away and put my order in like without even waiting. I'm sure it's because it's Thursday at like 1:45 and not a super popular time. I'm probably coming here at one of the more optimal times, but it is still like it is crowded. Like people are walking in every couple minutes, placing their orders. People are standing around the store. We saw people eating on the street corner and on the benches a couple minutes ago. So it is still busy, and you saw the amount of cheesesteaks that were in the case as I was placing my order. Where are y'all from?
South Carolina.
Oh, right on. Is it your first time? I could tell your accent.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like,
My girlfriend's from North Carolina, so okay.
He's native.
Okay, right on. Hell yeah. Is this your first time getting these? Second? Okay. Okay, right on. Hell yeah.
John's roast pork last
Oh, another good one. This one's worth it though. I think it's a great choice. Yeah.
That's what he said it was his favorite.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
It's just
Yeah.
the wine.
It is that is what I always tell people is like order and then go get like some cheese and some bread at the market, fill up that time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Have a good time, guys. Be safe. Okay. So, like I was just telling that nice family from South Carolina, the way to do Angelo's is to take a walk through the Italian market, scope out all the places that you want to go. Then you come and put your order in at Angelo's because it's going to be a wait. And that's the main complaint that people gave me when I asked on Twitter if Angelo's was worth it, is that the wait. And so once you go and scope out all the places in the Italian market, and once you put your order in, you're going to come back to all the places that you scoped out and all the places that you want to pick up stuff from. And so I'm doing exactly that. My first stop is my favorite bakery in the city of Philadelphia, Sarcone's. Hey, how are you? Could I please do a long seeded roll and a slice of tomato pie to go? Yeah, I'll take it right on a plate. I'm gonna eat it right now. Thanks, son. Yeah, that's fine. That's how I like it. Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. What's that for you? It's a little cold out. Yep. Yeah, it is a windy one out. Thanks, son. Appreciate you. You too. Be safe. Thanks again. Excuse me. Thank you so much. Look at this thing, man. Oh my God. She asked if I wanted it cold, and I said absolutely. You can eat your tomato pie however you want. I think the best tomato pie is the way that you like it. There's no sense in eating something if you don't enjoy the way that it's prepared, right? If you want, if this looks like it's meant to be eaten hot to you, eat it hot. But to me, room temperature or even refrigerated is the way to go for me. This is like a snack you eat room temperature. I gotta do this. Mm, perfect. Mm, perfect, man. It's so good. The thick crust, but the gravy they call it makes the bread on top a little softer. So you have like a thick crust on the bottom, and then this like sweet and full of spice and flavor sauce. And there's even some cheese in the gravy too. I just called it sauce in the gravy. Incredible stuff. I think I paid $6 for this giant piece of tomato pie and a large seeded bread. It's incredible. Great prices. I think the other day I came here, I got two large seeded breads, a large puff roll, and two pieces of tomato pie, and it was like $16. Cash only though. So if you do come here, be prepared. As is Angelo's. So get out cash for both of those places. Okay, well, I am not even halfway done with my tomato pie slice, and I've already got a text that my cheesesteaks are done. It's only been like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So apparently 1:30 on a Thursday is the most optimal time to come to Angelo's to get a cheesesteak. So I'm gonna finish this tomato pie up, grab our cheesesteaks, I guess, or I guess they put them in like a hot case. So I'm gonna go grab some cheese first, and then we'll grab our cheesesteaks, and then we'll dig into these fucking cheesesteaks. Let's do it. I mean, I can't be mad that Angelo's made my cheesesteak quick, but I was kind of excited to like go to Anthony's and get some espresso, maybe a cannoli while I was waiting. So, like I said, I can't be mad that they made, they did it quicker than I had anticipated, but I was kind of looking forward to a shot of espresso from Anthony's. But we're gonna grab some cheese before we grab our cheese steaks for this bread we just got at Sarcone's. We're gonna eat some of the cheesesteak and then head home. Call it a day. feel like this has been a pretty good trip to the Italian market, honestly. Now we're gonna stop in Claudia's real quick, see if we can find some cheese or something. All right, we got some tomato pie and some bread from Sarcone's, some cheese from Claudio's. Go pick up our cheesesteak. We're gonna come over to this wine garden over here, eat that in the sun, and then we'll call it a day. Hey, picking up for Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yep. Thanks, son.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too. Be safe. Yeah, these things have some serious heft to them. It's like almost hard to carry in one hand. This is awesome. Fuck yeah. All right, so we got the cheesesteaks here. They do have some serious heft to them. I think for the two, I ended up paying $36 before tip. So, I mean, it's kind of the going rate for cheesesteaks these days is right around anywhere like 17 to $20. It's crazy. Like it's absolutely crazy. But I can feel by the weight of these, they're not like skimping out on the meat or anything. And they bake their own bread. So I'm happy to pay almost $20 for these more than I am some of the other cheesesteak spots in the city. So sit down and get a view at this. All right. I'll be honest, the hardest thing about this so far was getting this bag open. They stapled it like 8 times, but I guess with the heft of these things, they got to do it. Again, like tomato pie, the best cheesesteak is the way that you like it prepared. If you like your cheesesteak with ketchup and mayo on it, then you should get your cheesesteak with ketchup and mayo on it. Not how I like my cheesesteak, but again, there's no use in ordering something a way that you don't like it prepared. You should enjoy the food that you eat. There's no reason to eat food that you don't enjoy. And the way that I like my cheesesteaks is on a seeded roll with Cooper Sharp and no onions. And so Angelo's feels like it's going to be right up the alley, right up my alley, especially with them making their own bread and using Cooper Sharp. So, oh my God, dude, let's look at this fucking thing. As I said, they don't skimp out on the meat. Tons of meat in this thing. I can't even get her off the wax paper. It's so, look at this. Oh my God. I usually like to start with the nub piece, but this just looks like a perfect first bite. So I'm going to go in on this right here. Mm. 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 This is really good. This is really good. The bread, man, the bread is the champion of this sandwich for real. I think They bake their own bread every day. And I think somebody at Angelo's is married to someone at Sarcone's. And so I think they're essentially using the same bread that Sarcone's uses, which is probably why I like this so much. Look, it's so full. It's just steak is just falling out of it. The texture of the steak. Some people like shaved slices of steak meat. Some like it finely chopped. I think this is somewhere like perfectly right in the middle. It's not completely chopped. It's not completely slices. Perfect bite size. The cheese, the Cooper Sharp is just like perfectly mixed all in the middle of that. I mean, look at that. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. I don't even need to get more than, what was that, 3 bites? I don't even need to get more than 3 bites in to tell you that, yes, Angelo's cheesesteak is worth it. Mm. Mm. That Cooper Sharp, dude. It's so good. Mm. That bread. It's got that like crusty outside layer, but then the inside is like nice and soft and chewy. Mm. Angelo's knows what they're doing. I can't quite say it's the best cheesesteak I've had here in the city of Philadelphia, but it's damn near up there. This is a great representation of just one of the many ways that a cheesesteak can be prepared here in Philadelphia. And again, however you want it is how you should get it. But if a seeded roll in Cooper Sharp is up your alley, this is a good choice. This is a good option. You're not being misled by getting an Angelo's cheesesteak, for sure. Now, the one thing I'll say, a couple things I'll say. We had it pretty easy today, but sometimes this place gets crazy. Sometimes the line is like around the block. Sometimes you come and that wait is like 45 minutes to an hour long. That's usually on weekends, later in the afternoon. So so your best bet is to come to Angelo's prepared. Come with a plan. Come knowing it's likely going to be crowded. There's likely going to be a wait. And there's nowhere right outside of Angelo's to actually sit down and eat your cheesesteak. But if you come prepared, if you come doing what I suggested, which is scope out all the spots on the Italian market, put in your order for Angelo's, and then go back to the spots that you scoped out on your first walkthrough, by the time you're done with that, your cheesesteak should be just about ready. If it's not, go grab a smoke, a drink, take a walk around a couple of the other blocks around this neighborhood. It's a beautiful part of the city. It's a great part of the city to walk around in. This part of the city should be walked. It shouldn't be driven to and parked and then driven away from. You should come to the Italian market to walk and to eat food. This is one of the best parts of the city, and this is one of the best sandwiches in the city to end out the Italian market tour video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna eat the rest of the steak and get out of here. I have a steak to bring to my girlfriend, and so I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found something new, and I hope this encourages you to get out of the house and try something new and find something in your city that you love. Thanks for tuning in.